All right, picture this. You pick up your phone, right? You're just going to check one single message, just one. But boom, 5 minutes later, you're watching random videos. 20 minutes later, you're still scrolling, and you literally can't even remember why you unlocked your screen in the first place. Sound painfully familiar? Well, you are definitely not alone. The crazy part is most of us don't even realize it's happening. We just think, oh, I'm just killing time. But there's actually a massive, invisible psychological mechanism at play here. Today, in this explainer, we're breaking down the hidden psychology of dopamine and modern addiction, and we're going to reveal exactly why your brain keeps craving just one more swipe. Okay, let's dive into this, because we really need to flip the script entirely. What if your phone isn't actually stealing your attention? What if your brain is willingly giving it away? Look, if you find yourself mindlessly scrolling, you're not lazy, you're not weak. Your biology is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Our brains naturally seek out rewards. And right now, we're all kind of falling for the ultimate biological trap. So here's the absolute punchline. Your brain is hooked on an endless stream of tiny, instant rewards. Every single time you swipe, every time you hear that little ding of a notification or a new short video starts playing, it triggers the exact same ancient reward system our ancestors used for survival. Seriously, thousands of years ago, finding food, building a relationship, or learning a new skill gave our brains a small dopamine hit, a little reward signal to encourage those really helpful behaviors. But today, we've completely short-circuited the system. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what went wrong. See, those ancient rewards, like foraging for food or building tools, they had one key ingredient. They required high effort. You had to work for them. But modern rewards? Zero effort. One tap, one swipe, instant gratification. Modern tech has essentially hijacked our evolution. It literally took the biological system that was designed to keep us alive through hard work and replaced all that effort with instant, unpredictable stimulation. To really wrap our heads around this, just imagine giving a kid a choice, okay? You offer them one piece of candy right now or 3 pieces if they just wait 10 minutes. We all know what happens, right? Almost every time they're going to grab that single piece immediately. Why? Because the human brain is hardwired to prefer immediate rewards. And guess what? This exact psychological tendency is the blueprint, the literal blueprint, that apps, games, and social media platforms use to keep you coming back for just one more. Every swipe promises something new, and that unpredictability, it's basically virtual candy that your brain just cannot resist. Section 1, Why Normal Feels Boring. The High Stimulation Trap. Have you ever noticed that after, say, spending an hour watching fast-paced, high-energy videos, sitting down to read a book or study suddenly feels incredibly difficult? Working feels agonizingly slow. Honestly, even just a normal conversation can start to seem, well, kind of boring. Psychologists actually call this reward adaptation. Because your brain has been receiving constant, tiny rewards from your screens, it begins to expect that intense level of stimulation all the time. Think about it. Normal life hasn't changed. Reading a book hasn't changed. What has drastically shifted is your brain's baseline expectation. So when you're flooded with instant rewards, slow, meaningful activities suddenly feel frustratingly boring by comparison. And that leads us to a massive invisible cost. Listen, attention is your most valuable asset. You absolutely have to treat it like currency. Because I promise you, the tech companies behind these platforms certainly do. Every notification, every endless scroll, every auto-playing video, they are all fiercely competing to steal your deep focus. They know that the longer they keep your attention, the more successful they become. Losing an hour of time is bad, sure, but losing your ability to focus deeply, wow, that is losing one of the rarest and most valuable skills in today's world. Section 2, The Secret to Happiness, Pleasure versus Fulfillment. So if we know we're losing our focus, why on earth do we keep doing it? Well, it comes down to a widespread myth that we really need to bust right now. A lot of people fall into the trap of believing that if they just consume more entertainment, they'll automatically become happier. But here's the truth. Pleasure and happiness are absolutely not the same thing. Pleasure is temporary. It relies on endless stimulation, like binge-watching 10 funny videos, and it almost always leaves you feeling completely empty afterward. But happiness? Happiness is lasting. It requires effort, like creating something meaningful, learning a new skill, or helping someone out, and it brings deep, genuine fulfillment. That is exactly why you can spend 3 hours heavily stimulated online and yet still feel completely empty when you finally put the phone down. Section 3. Protect your attention. The habit of success. Let's ground this in reality for a second. Imagine 2 different people waking up with the exact same 24 hours ahead of them. Person 1 grabs their phone the very second they open their eyes, instantly flooding their brain with notifications, the news, social media, the whole shebang. Person 2, they exercise, maybe read a few pages of a book, or just simply enjoy a few minutes of total silence. Now, what's really interesting about this comparison is that because attention is non-refundable, these simple morning choices totally dictate their futures. You can always earn more money, but once your focus is gone, you never ever get that moment back.
Section 4. Rewiring your brain. You are in control.
I know all of this might feel a little heavy, but here is the uplifting truth, and really, this is the hero of our story today. Your brain is not your enemy. In fact, it is incredibly adaptable, and you have the power to completely take back control. The secret weapon here? Neuroplasticity. This is your brain's amazing ability to reshape itself based on what you repeatedly do. If you constantly chase instant rewards, your brain becomes a master at seeking distractions. But, and this is the super exciting part, if you actively practice focus every single day, your brain physically changes to become better at concentrating. Just as it learned to crave those quick distractions, you can actively teach it to relearn how to enjoy meaningful effort again.
So how exactly do we do that? We do it by building small habits that create big changes, like following a simple checklist. Try reading for just 20 minutes. Take a walk outside, but leave your phone at home. Meditate for 10 minutes. Turn off all those non-essential notifications buzzing in your pocket. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. At first, sitting in silence or trying to read a book is going to feel uncomfortable. And you know what? That is completely normal. The goal here isn't instant perfection. It's consistent progress. Month by month, these tiny, seemingly insignificant habits will completely reshape the way your brain works.
So, the crucial point is this. Real freedom isn't about literally throwing your smartphone into the ocean. It's about training your brain through 3 simple steps. First, endure temporary boredom. Second, practice focused effort. And third, watch as that unlocks true confidence and lasting growth. Think about your proudest moments in life, maybe passing a really tough exam or finishing a massive project at work. They require discipline, right? And that effort is exactly why they felt so meaningful. We have to train our brains to chase meaningful goals rather than cheap, easy rewards. The modern world is going to fight for your focus every single day, no doubt about it. But remember, whatever you repeatedly give your attention to eventually shapes who you become. So before you unlock your phone tomorrow morning, I want you to ask yourself a question. Is this helping me build the life I want or distracting me from it? Really let that sink in. Is it helping or distracting? Because at the end of the day, the person who controls their attention controls their future. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.